No, the only one that is like a line that they will. First of all, people keep saying recognize Crimea as Russian territory. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's like a red line for or whatever. What are they going to do? Do you think the Ukrainian forces that can't even fucking push back the Russian forces currently in its southern region are going to fucking move into Crimea and take it over? Like, what do you? How do you foresee this happening? Might is right when it comes to international relations. Let's be fucking real for a goddamn moment. So, do you think that like the Ukrainian forces somehow are going to this time around be able to push back the Russians without any sort of additional help and then also move directly into Crimea? You're crazy. And Crimea has already been a part of Russia, so much so that the Ukrainian government cut off its water. Putin's demands are like me telling my neighbor how he should build his house. Yeah, except it's like if you have a way larger gun than your neighbor and you're liable to use it in a lawless land, okay? That's what it sounds like. And actually you're now holding your neighbor's like children hostage and telling him we're going to stop if you build the house the way I want you to build it. You're right, and it's not correct. And at this point, you have to literally try to find a better solution than an extended occupation, which is only going to further kill Ukrainians, okay? Russians are going to suffer from in this situation as well. But all this is doing, the extension of this, and seeing all of these as like completely unreasonable demands and a non-starter is exclusively going to further extend the occupation, and it's going to cause more Ukrainians to fucking die in the hands of the Russian forces who should not be there to begin with. Crimea's illegal annexation is such a fucking stupid conversation. I hate relitigating it over and over again. Okay, just please read anything about Crimea. Read any article from American outlets about Crimea that predate like this last iteration of the war, okay? And you will get a better recognition for what even the Western world thought about Crimea and its annexation. Yes, it was illegal, but international law means nothing, okay? It does not matter. It literally does not fucking matter. There is no such thing as international law, okay? When you are a nation with a nuclear arsenal, there is no international law. Please stop talking about international law, let alone the morality of the situation itself. Is also something that you guys keep fucking complaining about. Ukraine this is the reason why they want legalization for Russian, like legal recognition for the language of Russian. Ukraine passes language law irritating president-elect in Russia. What was I going to say? Oh, you talk about international law. Okay, well, guess what? The United Nations General Assembly also said that this is a crime and that he should stop. Is it stopping? It doesn't mean anything. None of what I'm saying is me being an apologist for Russia. What Russia is doing is morally abhorrent, completely unacceptable, completely fucking violent, okay? As far as Crimea being like Russian territory, it's already Russian territory. Like the rest of the world can fucking say that's not true, that's not happening. But in the eyes of Crimeans that live there, they seemingly are happy about that. And that's all I operate on. Now, if they weren't, that would be an entirely separate story. And, you know, like I said, that's the reason why I constantly and consistently tell you, just read any articles about Crimea or look at any polling done in Crimea by Western polls, and you will get a better understanding of what that fucking means. The only one that is sussy here is the demilitarization. Obviously, all of these could be used against Ukraine, and they are. You probably don't fully understand. Russians killed 100 plus children. After that, everyone here, including me, would rather die than accept the Russian language as official. Wait, what?
6 months,
it's not.
Baby.
That doesn't
You've
mean.
opened
Wait,
my
what are
eyes
you
to a lot of
saying?
new
That doesn't mean.
positions. Thank you.
What? This doesn't mean you have to speak Russian, dude. It means that, like, in areas where there are Russian speakers, they should be able to have, like, Russian language schools.
Pogo, a whole year of left to Jiprop. Time to go radical.
It's not the fucking random Russian speakers that live inside of Ukrainian borders that are Ukrainian, that are your fucking fellow citizens that are responsible for these actions of Vladimir Putin. Yeah, just go fucking kill random Russian civilians then, you know what I mean? It's such a strange fucking take. I know they have schools already. I know. Your chatter doesn't understand that in most of Ukraine, people already speak Russian. Legit, everywhere they speak Russian. Ukrainian is spoken very little. Go to Kyiv, everyone speaks Russian. Go to Odessa, everyone speaks Russian. I have many friends who are Ukrainian who don't speak Ukrainian. I don't know what your chat's on about, lol. I mean, no, that's not. We're talking about as a first language. Yes, Russian is commonly used by pretty much every single person, but as a first language, like in Western Ukraine, it is definitely still, that is the language. But that doesn't stop people from knowing and learning and speaking language. Most of your takes are good, and I don't chat much, but you're very apologist and lean towards giving Russia their wishes too much. Don't mean to repeat. Yeah, because I see the fucking writing on the wall. That's the main difference between me and all these other fucking people that keep telling Ukraine, like, you're doing a great job, sweaty. It's cool. Keep dying. It's fine. Because the ultimate purpose and ultimate goal, as stated by not just, random people on Twitter, but actually Hillary fucking Clinton herself and other foreign policy people, is that Ukraine is turning into Russia's Afghanistan. And I care more about the Afghan people, i.e. the Ukrainians, in this situation. I want to avoid further escalation and further death and destruction that is inevitable. Americans that keep egging Ukrainians on and making it seem like they have more leverage than they actually do are literally causing a death sentence for Ukrainians, okay? And the people keep saying, like, you won't stop Russia by giving them what they want. Next, they'll want Moldova or Finland or anything. Yeah, Finland has separate agreements, being an EU nation that will offer them more protection than Moldova. Moldovans should be fearful. That's understandable. They have, they don't got the same kind of protections that other countries do. But they have another level of security. But yes, if you say Russia could take over Moldova, then yeah, you're right about that. Just show people that Crimea was a sovereign state before Ukraine had its referendum 6 months later, instead of trying to argue with the majority being Russian in Crimea. Dude, they don't. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. These people do not fucking care, okay? If they actually knew the appropriate human rights violations in Crimea, they wouldn't be talking about how it's fucking Ukrainian territory. They'd be talking about how it belongs to the Tatars, okay? But they don't know anything. They're just repeating their intellectual counterpoints. Literally stop. They begin and stop at which YouTube video they have watched. So there is no reason to consistently bring this shit up, okay? See, it's always the same. The Crimea vote was held under Russian population with no international voting. That's really interesting because we're not doing this right now. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I do know what they did to the Tatars, but that would make it independent of Russian involvement and closer to fucking Turkish territory. So don't get me started on that. I guess it belongs to fucking Turkey then, Give Crimea to the Turks, baby. I don't know why people... I mean, I do know why. It's just like someone fucking told them this is what they should be mad at, so they're mad at it. It's so stupid. I think it's inappropriate to make the annexation of Crimea even a remote comparison to what the fuck is going on currently, which is wholeheartedly and entirely unjustifiable and violent as fuck. Okay? So whenever you fucking bring up Crimea and say, like, Russia's annexation of Crimea is a comparable situation when these motherfuckers were like welcoming them. Okay, you're literally it's like you're doing Russian propaganda. That's what it feels like. Of course there was resistance. Of course there was still people who did not want it to happen, but the majority of people absolutely did. Given its historical precedent as wanting to be a autonomous territory, given its history of being a Russian launching pad into the Black Sea with Sevastopol, regardless of whether it fucking was inside of Ukrainian borders or not, you're wild to me for not recognizing this. Okay, you're literally saying like the wishes of the Crimean people are irrelevant to the subject matter. Okay. Was this a thread on the most striking things to me in Vladislav Zubok's new book, Collapse? We have forgotten the fear of a looming Ukraine-Russia conflicts and Moscow rancor over the future of Crimea and the Donbass. was on the minds of key players in 1991. As he galloped towards the country's independence after the collapse of Central Soviet Authority post-coup in August 1991, Ukrainian leader Leonid Kravchuk warned a serious conflict and refused any change of status over Crimea. The topic had more than just arisen. In Moscow, Gorbachev's advisor Anatoly Chernayev told the UK ambassador he appropriates nuclear missiles and Donbass and Crimea. What an idiot. Does he really believe Sevastopol belongs to him? Notice how they're also still talking about Sevastopol. Do you want to know why? Because that's an incredibly important strategic asset for both the USSR and Russia, and has maintained its Russian Navy presence even through the forcible annexation of Crimea by Ukraine, okay? So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's such a weird thing that I have to constantly and consistently find myself literally arguing, like straight up arguing with fucking people that won't give me the one charitable fucking moment, okay? One charitable fucking interpretation should be, hey, this Hasan guy, okay? This Hasan guy, he's often on the money when it comes to human rights, okay? He's not usually a fan of human wrongs. I wonder why this is one area where he is like pretty fucking, convinced that it is entirely different than the rest of the conversation that's taking place, where it seems like I agree with him. Perhaps there's additional details that are the reason why he believes what he believes. But no, you literally go, fuck that. He said Crimea is actually Russian territory, is bullshit. I've been told that's fucking bullshit. And it's his worst take. Yeah, see, Hasan's worst take always happens during this time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's my worst fucking take. Like, do you ever question, like, if I've taught you how to be a good leftist or whatever, do you ever find yourself, like, wondering, I wonder if, the person who I agree with, like, 99.9% of the time, who, like, showed me what, like, being a leftist is about, maybe he's not wrong on this one, okay? Maybe. Even a super Democrat, if he's a Russian Democrat, would stand up against this. Meanwhile, Oleg Rumyantsev, head of Constitutional Committee of the Russian Parliament, said Russia is a much larger than the RSFSR appendix, and that if Ukraine excluded from this new state that was emerging, the issue of Crimea will have to be raised. In denial, Georgy Shakhnazarov, one of Gorbachev's closest aides, thought the Ukrainian sovereignty was something vague, and that people in the southern and eastern Ukraine should be rallied to oppose Ukrainian separatism and support common statehood. Specifically, Georgy Shakhnazarov kept telling Gorbachev he wanted to urgently work with the Parliament of Crimea, which was then insisting on a referendum to return the province to the incoming Russian Federation and had declared itself autonomous. Nope. These emotions were across Russian politics. The young Vladimir Putin's boss, St. Petersburg boss Anatoly Sobchak, even told the UK ambassador in the West was courting Ukrainian separatism that it would encourage the breakup of the Union and kill Russian democracy. Anyway, 1991 hurled forward. Gorbachev continued to believe Ukraine and would stay in the new union he hoped for. Even his senior aide, Alexander Yakovlev, was also in denial, telling President Bush, we have 1,000 different understandings of independence. Gorbachev said he would refuse to see a vote of independence in Ukraine as a right to secede and warned it risked a conflict worse than Yugoslavia. Meanwhile, Yeltsin said he had forces in his camp who wanted to claim Crimea and Donbass for Russia. Actually, I'm skipping all this. This is boring as fuck. Regardless, this is it. This is, if you want, you can go read it on your own, okay? Will this logic of giving Crimea to Russia after changing the demography, cleansing, etc., not result in giving Eastern Jerusalem to Israel in 20, 30 years? I mean, the reasoning is the same. Dude, you are literally a psychopath if you consider Jerusalem and Israel as a similarity to Crimea, because no one is saying Crimea belongs to the fucking autonomous Tatar kingdom, okay? The people that are defending Crimea are saying, no, we should give it to the Ukrainians. Okay? That's the problem. That's why you're a fucking psychopath. If that was on the fucking, if that was on the plate, if that was the convo, then we can have a separate convo about that. But like saying that it belongs to fucking Ukraine is psychotic. If there's a list of things that Crimea historically belongs to, it's the Tatars first, Russians second, Ukraine not even third, okay? Maybe fifth. The Ottomans third, and Ukraine fourth. Crimea belongs to Greece before it belongs to fucking Ukraine. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. It belongs as long as there was no legitimate referendum. Yeah, but when I show you legitimate referendums about, like, Crimea's autonomy and independence from Ukraine, you say, no, that doesn't count. Except you don't even know that that existed. You didn't even know that that existed. You don't know anything. You're just saying there's not legitimate referendum. Legitimate.
Crimea River.
It's so fucking stupid, man. Go ask the people if they believe in it. Yes, I do. I do believe that there should be a separate referendum if you want. But you're never going to ever in a million years agree with that because you've already heard the fucking takes. So it doesn't matter. And the takes dictate that, you know, it's Ukrainian sovereignty, Ukrainian constitutional borders. That's wild. Sure, let's change the borders because the regionals want ours. Bro, my brothers in Christ, you are literally looking at this as though this is not a, like, almost unique circumstance. We're talking about a country that was, like, literally writing its fucking borders in the aftermath of the dissolution and destruction of the USSR. Like, I was born at this point, okay? You're completely just rewriting centuries of fucking history for your own purpose, for, like, what? The sanctity of the Ukrainian Constitution? If America had a similar fucking problem, and America does have similar fucking problems as a matter of fact, I tell you to wipe my ass with the American Constitution. But when I say that about Ukraine, and what matters in this circumstance is, like, the interests of the Crimeans that are living there, you're like, no, it doesn't matter. The Ukrainian sovereignty is more important. Ukrainian constitutional sovereignty is more important. The fuck do you mean? Fuck borders, okay? Borders are fucking bullshit. You're crazy to like deny that, like, you know, the borders that we fucking allowed to be redrawn, what, 30 fucking years ago is somehow more important than the interests of the people that are living there and have been living there before those borders were drawn. That's so strange. It is an incredibly strange fucking argument that I hear from people who would otherwise be leftists. I was born in Crimea and lived there for 12 years. And if Ukraine would try to take back Crimea, nearly everyone would be ready to fight back against Ukrainians. They treated Crimea like shit and trying to force Ukrainian language as a main language in schools when we were autonomous republic and most people strongly support Russia. Yeah, and then Ukraine literally fucking cut the water that the USSR had built, the canal from a river that goes from Russia to Ukraine to Crimea was cut off. They damned it. A human rights violation that the Western world totally overlooked because it was our fucking allies, and it was a big fuck you against Russia. But in most circumstances where you should be angry at what Russia is doing, okay? You should be. It is unjustifiable. It's inappropriate. It's unacceptable, okay? You should be angry at that. Of course you should. You should want emancipation for the people in Ukraine that are currently under Russian occupation. But if that's the kind of attitude you have, then you should also recognize that regardless of how unjustifiable this invasion is, it's also unjustifiable for Ukraine to cut off the water of Crimea. Water that originally comes from Russia to Ukraine. A canal that was built by the USSR. Completely psychotic. You can't take both sides. No, I'm not taking both sides, motherfucker. I'm not. The invasion of Ukraine is unjustifiable and unacceptable. I'm totally on Ukraine's side on that. The annexation of Crimea, I'm on the side of Russia. It's the one instance. And this frustrates people endlessly. They want to constantly bring it up. They want to constantly litigate it when it's an entirely separate fucking conversation. Or give it to, or give it to Turkey. Dude, you really do not know Polish history, by the way. Joke. It's a joke, dumbass. Bro, if you're Polish, like, see yourself out of this conversation, okay? I'm sorry. Like, too bad the illegal annexation of Crimea came with a bunch of green little men in the east. Yeah, that's. I didn't say that. I didn't say that that was okay. I didn't say that, like, Russia beefing up and whipping up the Donbass region for, gearing them up and whipping them up for inevitable warfare with the Ukrainian National Guard. I did not say that that's okay. It's not. It's proxy war. Yes, you did, haha. No, I did not say that. I said the Crimean annexation is understandable from a moral perspective, considering the demographics and the wishes of the people on the ground. You're a 7-month subscriber. What the fuck are you saying? You know better on my takes than you do. No, it's not based on a survey run by the Russian occupation. I don't know why people. Is it much easier for you to feel like I'm wrong by constantly strawmanning what my justifications are for it? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on? You just keep saying the referendum was like illegal and under gunpoint. Okay, sure. Why are there Gallup polls before and after that also correspond? Why is there a complicated and long history that, like, why do the 75% of the Navy join the Russian Navy? There is no historical precedent. Oh, there are some historical precedents to that level of involvement. It doesn't matter, dumbass, it was illegal. See, this is the problem. And this is honestly, straight up, this is honest. This is actually honest. Liberals are rule cucks, okay? It literally has nothing to do with the interests of the people living in Crimea, whether they want it to be autonomous or a part of Russia, okay? They care about rules and rule breaking. That's it. That is the libcuck fucking take. Is like, it doesn't matter, it was illegal, and that's why I hate it. It doesn't matter if it was moral. You know what else was illegal, dumbass? Freeing slaves, you know? But liberals, unironically, would be like, well, guess what, dude? You can't do that because it was illegal. Stop breaking the rules. And that's how you become a classical liberal. You know, a liberal from a time when private property rights also included human beings. 1 year after Russia annexed Crimea, locals prefer Moscow to Kyiv. Yeah, dude, I know, but like, it doesn't matter. There are like a million articles like this, okay? They've done numerous fucking polls in the region since that annexation. But again, remember, liberals just like rules, and one rule originally was broken in their minds, so it doesn't matter, okay? Like, it's done. A rule was broken. I hate Russia, and a rule was broken, and I hate rule breakers unless we're breaking the rules, in which case, fuck the rules, obviously. Russia doesn't care about the Tatars? Yeah, neither do you, dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Unless you are talking about restoring the Crimean fucking monarchy, or whatever the fuck it was considered at the time, which it was which was kind of like a vassal state to the Ottoman Empire, okay? Then shut the fuck up. The Khanate. I don't know how to fucking say it in English. So do chatters not care that there hasn't been a massive anti-Russia movement in Crimea? Like, they seem pretty chill with Russia, or does chat think Russian info control is so powerful? Chat doesn't know anything about Crimea. They don't care. They don't care. It's just whatever fucking floats the boat in this argument. They just have heard that this seems wrong. It corresponds to their fucking liberal ass worldview. So they're just literally repeating whatever kind of information they can grab onto that justifies that, like, you know, Crimea belongs to Ukraine. That's why I'm trying to show that there is a serious conflict with their, you know, primary fucking moral reasoning here. If you don't believe in borders, then you should care more about the people that are living there and their interests. But they're like, no, I do care about borders in that situation. I do care about fuck the autonomy of a fucking of an area that like had its own interests for throughout history. That's it. Okay. And then when it's not enough, they just then turn around and talk about fucking Germany and Germany and Germany, and then like they'll clip it out and be like, dude, you're right. You know, you were fucking defending Hitler. So stupid. Crimea was never Ukrainian. It was either a Khanate and belonged to Russia or belonged to Turkey. Exactly.